Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Robin's Nest. Today, we're going to talk a little WEC action, a little WEC. They were in COTA, or they were in Texas this weekend racing at COTA. That race was interesting, to put it mildly. And we're going to talk a little NASCAR. So, not going to build it up too much. We're just going to get right into it. So, if you enjoy listening to me ramble about motorsports, cars, anything else I feel like talking about, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on notifications. If you're interested in diecast cars, t-shirts, hats, auto parts, anything like that, check out our eBay. The link is in the description. Follow me on Facebook and X for more motorsports content. I post daily, pretty much all day. So those links are also in the description. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So WEC was running COTA this weekend. The race ended up being pretty good when they finally got going. So what happened is a massive rainstorm moved in right when they were getting ready to start the race. So, it was a monsoon. It was raining hard. And, it just was. I'm not going to argue that point, it was. But the problem that I have with what happened was it's a typical FIA 2025 move is they ran almost 2 hours behind the safety car, waiting for the rain to let up so they could go racing. It never really did, but they started. It's funny because they started getting blowback on social media. I was watching it in real time. All of this. I had X pulled up, looking at their feed, and everyone was starting to get pissed off. And I think people at the track were getting mad too. I mean, there were people saying, hey, look, we need our money back and all this other kind of stuff if we're not actually going to race. And so it was like right after that they actually got going. And it was still, the rain was just as bad. Anthony Davidson even said at one point during the broadcast that the rain, when they were green, was as bad as it had been all day. But the as far as accidents are concerned, it was relatively uneventful. I mean, there were a few, but it's kind of stuff that happens in the dry too. So that's this whole, I've argued about it before, I've complained about it before, whatever you want to say it, but like this whole thing about FIA sanctioned series in 2025, circuit based series, not racing in the rain is just, I don't understand it. I really don't, because the argument you'll hear from people is, well, this isn't like it is back in the day. With the flat floors and stuff like that, the roost is worse and all that kind of stuff. So visibility is poor, so we can't race. Well, yeah, my response to that is obviously visibility is poor. It's rain. Like the visibility's not going to be good. It's rain. I mean, that's part of driving in the rain. When you go out there right now, it's sunny here. If I go out there and jump in my car and start driving, I can see pretty good. I can see pretty good ways off. If it starts raining, then that visibility is limited. Okay, it retracts a little bit. I can't see quite as far. That's part of it. You think the guys back in the day when they were running were driving around in the rain saying, "Man, I can see really, really good." No. But rain is, and we're talking about road course racing here. Street course racing as well. Rain is just part of it. They make wet weather tires for that reason. But this is what keeps happening in WEC, Formula One. What was it? I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, during the 24 hours of Le Mans, where they ran like the entire overnight portion of the race, essentially, behind the safety car because it was raining. That's just, it's nonsense, If we're going to do that, then the FAA needs to come out and say, hey, just from here moving forward, we aren't going to run in the rain. Outside of WRC, we're not going to run in the rain. But the other issue that I have is because you can shoot holes in that with this right here. ETRC, which is semi-truck racing, or lorries for my international friends. Those trucks race in the rain. They did was it a week or so ago? I think it was Moss when they were running in the rain. And these are semi trucks. Okay, these things, if you lose control of one, even the barriers at some of these European tracks. I mean, there are tire packs and guardrail behind that. these trucks are going to cause some damage. And they do. We've seen it happen. I think it was either last year or the year before, one got out of control, hit the wall, and just bounced over it, basically. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a semi-truck. It may be a race truck, but it still weighs a lot. Okay? Why, and that's the FIA sanctioned series, why are we okay with running ETRC in the rain, but sports cars and Formula One cars, now we can't do that? Someone walk me through that, and let's talk about it in the comment section, because it's confusing to me, and I'm not saying that to be smart or anything like that. it really is confusing to me why we will run one series in the rain and the other one we won't. But like I said, when they finally started running that race yesterday, it wasn't that bad. It was relatively clean, all things considered. So, it's nonsense. And then, what's even further nonsense, one of Penske's Porsches ended up winning. And he was running second, I don't know, about a half hour left in the race. One of the Ferraris was leading. He went off into turn one, hit the Ferrari, gave the Ferrari a puncture, and this Ferrari had led the entire race, basically. But he cost them a finish that they would have had, which would have been top three, for sure. And normally, in WEC, you have avoidable contact penalties. For some reason, the Penske didn't get one, and I don't quite understand that. If people online were telling me, you have all these idiots who try to tell you, oh, you're just whining, blah blah blah. I have no issue with Penske. Okay, no personal issue. I don't care. But what I have a problem with is just like in NASCAR. If we're going to have rules, okay, they need to be enforced evenly. And just because you're an American team and you're racing on American soil and you haven't won a race all season, and so it'll make good headlines for WEC, for Porsche to finally get their first win on home soil, that should not influence your decision on handing out penalties on a consistent basis. If you side-by-side contact, I don't care what you call it, if you do that and you cost someone a good finish, or you give them a puncture, what have you, 100% the onus is on you. And Anthony was saying during the broadcast, oh, well, it was unintentional and all this sort of kind of nonsense. Avoidable contact penalties, it doesn't matter if it's intentional. Okay, I've seen them a million times, hand them out to guys who 100% you could tell it was an accident, but it doesn't matter because the onus is on you because you're the one that caused the accident. Okay? Intent doesn't really have anything to do with it. Okay? Let's just be real about that. It doesn't. So, the Penske should have been penalized, and the fact that it wasn't was politics. Basically, or not basically, that's what it was. It's frustrating to see. I love WEC, and I'm not saying anything bad about them. Like I think overall they do a good job officiating, except when it comes to rain, and then when politics become involved in some of these other penalties that should be dished out. I think they drop the ball on that, and that happens quite often. So, but anyways, the race was good. It was fun to watch when they were actually racing, and it ended up being like a 4-hour race instead of 6. But nevertheless, fun to watch. The NASCAR race, I didn't watch it, but I got in an argument with someone about it. I watched the highlight reel. I mean, I'm not going to watch it when there's other things on that are more interesting. These cars are so awful nowadays. Like, there's no point in watching it. But number one, I saw like the saturation on the picture on USA's coverage or whatever was off for some reason. Don't quite understand that. And then everyone was telling me that the coverage. And there's some sort of lapse in coverage when Denny actually crossed the start-finish line to win the race at the end. If that's true, we all know why that happened. And then what I did see on the highlight reel, or Bob Pockris posted about it, is Bill Murray was the Grand Marshal. And he got up there and started talking about the military, and then made a little smart comment about the military going into Chicago. And it's just baffling to me why NASCAR still allows politics and social issues to be injected into the sport. At this point, that stuff is divisive. It doesn't matter which side of the political divide you fall on. That stuff is 100%, 100% divisive. And it has no place in sports of any kind. Okay? That's one of the main reasons people have such an issue with NASCAR. NASCAR's tried so hard to get away from their southern roots. And you could see that by the email chain between Steve O'Donnell and Steve Phelps. Steve O'Donnell even said something about the redneck southern roots, basically. They've tried so hard to get away from that they have gone way out in the left field. And then they can continuously try to shove it down your throat, despite the fact that 90% of their fan base is in the Southeast. Whether anyone wants to admit it or not, it's just a fact. So I don't get that. And I saw people. Corey LaJoy made a little reference. I know what he was doing. He's making a little tongue-in-cheek reference to the fact he'd posted Jimmy Spencer complaining back in 2003 about not being able to pass or something with the tires. What I saw yesterday, nearly every accident that happened was due to guys dive bombing into the corner on the guy in front of them, because the only way you could pass was just to send it into the corner. Kyle Larson spun out Blaney, and that's exactly what he was doing. He was sending it down into the corner, trying to get up next to him, because, you have to break that aero wash, And one way to do that is to just send it into the corner as deep as you possibly can, and hope that the other guy lets up a little bit early, and you can get you can kind of strong arm him out of the way and get the position. So basically what I'm saying is the race, from what I saw, played out exactly like every other race has with the next gen. And, we're to the point. It's going to continue to be this way. Nothing's going to change. But don't let up. Keep beating it into these guys on social media. Keep talking about it. Keep complaining about it. The only way that anything changes is, keep talking about it and bringing it up, but the people just need to stop watching it. Look what happened to Cracker Barrel. If enough people get together, you can enact change. The only way to do that is going to be hitting NASCAR in their pocketbook. And yes, they may have already been paid for this TV contract, but I promise you, if enough people stop watching it, these TV companies, these TV partners, are going to put pressure on NASCAR to do something. That's why we have stages. Same thing happened back several years ago when they came along. People weren't watching. The TV partners wanted something to they told us to bring excitement into it. It was really just to get more ad breaks so they can make more money, but that came from lack of interest and lack of viewership. And so, I don't know. Anyways, if you enjoy listening to me ramble about motorsports, cars, anything else I feel like talking about, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on notifications. If you're interested in diecast cars, t-shirts, hats, auto parts, anything like that, check out our eBay. The link is in the description. Follow me on Facebook and X for more motorsports content. I post on there daily, basically all day. So I'm off to watch a high school football game. So I will see you guys probably tomorrow. We'll probably make another video tomorrow, if I have to guess. If not, then Wednesday. But regardless, thank y'all for watching. You guys and gals are awesome. God bless. Until next time. Peace.